Hello my friends, how are you doing? Today on our artistic journey I will show you how to combine two pictures so the colors match. My name is Olivio, I'm a professional designer and I want to thank all of my patrons who support me and make these videos possible. So we have here a picture of some nice mushrooms and a picture of a very beautiful ballerina that we want to combine. So she is dancing on one of the mushrooms, and this means of course we have to select her, but also to combine the colors so it looks like they are in the same space, in the same situation. Before we get started, I want to give you some heads up on how to select pictures so it's easier for you, because not every picture can be combined with another picture. So first of all, here we have an example. This is about perspective. You can see that on the left picture the perspective is head on. So the floor is kind of flat and it's fleeing into the background, while on the right side we have a head down angle where we're looking down on the woman sitting here on the ground, but also on the ground. So you can see that the angle of the ground is completely different. So this makes it different and makes it kind of impossible to combine these pictures. So try to find two pictures that are actually photographed from the same angle, but you have to also think about, even if they are photographed from the same angle, if the subject is higher or lower in the picture. For example, the subject is standing on a ladder. This is already from the bottom down looking up at the person. So here the angle would be changed. So if you would put the person from the ladder down on the ground, it would be in the wrong perspective. So also you have to look for these kind of things. Another thing, of course, when you want to combine pictures is the light situation, which is very important. So here on the left side we have a portrait. You can see it has kind of harsh light, very strong light coming from the left, very little light coming from the right side. So we have a harsh shadow here and a very kind of a little bit overexposed face on the left side. But on the right side we have a softly, evenly lit room. So it would be kind of hard to combine these two pictures. With light you can fake it a little bit, but still it would be better if they are as close as possible from the light situation, also from the light angle. So look at where the light is coming from the left, from the light, from up or down, maybe from the behind, from the front. Stuff like that can be important and make your job a lot easier of combining two pictures. All right, so let's go back to our picture. Here we have the mushrooms, we have the dancer, but I have the dancer open in a separate file. And for selection purposes, especially when you photograph a person, you want the person to stand on a background, before a background that is like more of a unified color, not too complex. If possible, a green screen, stuff like that, that makes it easier for you to select the subject. Here we just have a black background, dark background. Okay, so I will go with my selection tool here, selection brush on the left side. I set it to a small size because we have some finer details here, and I'm just moving over the body. You can see because the background is black, it's kind of easy for the tool to select everything. And of course, with selection always helps when you have a very high resolution picture, because the higher the resolution, the more detail you can select and the easier it is for the software to actually select something. So of course, if you have a smaller resolution, the picture will be pixelated, the details will be pixelated and mushy, and you will have more problems selecting details. Also, of course, for this tutorial, a super precise selection is not the key point, because this tutorial is about the light situation actually. So there we go. Let's do this. I will show you a little trick on how to improve a little bit onto a selection. So, okay, we have done this. Let's click on refine. See at the details. That looks pretty good. Up here, well enough for our purpose. Here you can see we have a little bit of a dark line. I will show you an easy way how to fix this kind of dark shadow line here. So let's click on apply, and we have here the selection. And one thing I like to do to make a selection look softer and more precise is you go to select and then to grow, shrink. And I will shrink it just a little bit. So 3 pixels here. The picture is rather large from the resolution, so 3 pixels, not too much. You can see the selection here is moving inward. You can see this was the original situation, a little bit outward. Move it in a little bit inward. So now it's onto her skin. But what we're going to do is we're going to go again to select, and now we select feather. Feather means that it makes the selection, the border of the selection, softer. So let's go here and set the same value, 3 pixels, but now in a positive direction. Click on apply, and this makes it soft. You can't see it now, but you can see it on the result. So now that we have done the selection over all of her, we click down here on mask layer. So this creates a mask, boom, and now she's separated from the background. We can hit Control D on our keyboard to deselect, and the mask of course is still there. So let's select everything, Control C to copy, switch over to our other picture, Control V like victory to pass it in here. And so now we have our ballerina dancer, and we can just put her in the right like size, right scale. Let's put her in this mushroom down here. Maybe make her a little bit bigger, or I don't know. Yeah, let's put it here. That's good. Let's make it like this, so she can dance on this kind of mushroom here. There we go. Let's move this a little bit around. Whoop, I made a copy. That wasn't my intention. That. Okay, cool. So now the important part is how can we combine the colors? I will show you a very easy trick. Of course, I want to point out you can always do more. There's a lot more complex techniques, but these are very simple techniques that will, with very few steps, allow you to match the colors in a rather realistic way. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to mimic the ambient light, so the light of the surrounding that is already in the picture, that is our background. So I will copy that, so right click and duplicate, and then we go here to filters, blur, average blur, and this will mix together all the colors we have in our picture and create one color that is resulting from that. So this is kind of this mushy green brown here that we have. And with this, I will simply take this and pull it onto my ballerina like that. So she's now just this mushy dark brown green. And I will set the blend mode of that to soft light. You can see automatically the colors are fitting a lot better to the light situation that we already have in our picture. So that is very helpful. Of course, you can see that she is still too dark in some areas and too light in other areas. So what we want to do is to create a curves adjustment here to even that out. You can also see that there are no complete darks in our original image. So we want to push this a little bit up here. Oh, we have to take our curves adjustment and also pull it onto our ballerina layer. So this is actually not affecting anything else, just her. So let's move this up a little bit. You can see this already is a lot better. Let's move this maybe down a little bit. Let's see. And you can go here by your eye on what you see, how it feels to you. It maybe takes a little bit of experience to get used to this. So just make a ton of different versions and you will get better with each version. There is no kind of magic, do this and it works magically. You have to train your eye and your senses a little bit to make it feel right. So this already looks kind of good. What we want to do still is to fine adjust the colors, and for that we can simply use an adjustment layer for color balance. There we go. Click on that, or again drag it down onto our layer with the ballerina, and in here we have the ability to adjust the shadows, the midtones, the highlights. So with this, again, use your eyes and move this a little bit around and see. You can also like go more extreme to see what does it actually do. So this adds more red, this adds more blue. And then you go a little bit lighter and think, okay, how does the background look? How do I want to combine these two pictures? What does it do to my photo? Let's see, maybe make it a little bit warmer like that. That's okay. And then we can go for the shadows, also adjust them. With the shadows, it's always a bit more extreme, so make it less, like move the adjustments here very little with shadows. They have a lot stronger impact than the highlights or the midtones. Make this a little bit more red. This is too much actually. I think this is okay. We can also look at the highlights. Do we want to do something here maybe? You can see especially the highlights is her skirt, because that's bright. It's white skirt, or has a lot of white elements. So we can try to see. So for example, you can see if I move this blue up, it feels like it's more white, although it's getting more blue because our eyes adjust the situation. So for our eyes, it's how the eyes or our senses feel the colors, not the absolute actual colors that are there. So your eyes are getting tricked a little bit, and this is why you need to use your senses, not just the tools to adjust the colors. Okay, I would say that's pretty okay. Let's make a copy of this. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this to show you the before and after without these adjustments. So this is our original ballerina. Let's zoom in here a little bit so you can see her a little bit better, like that. This is our original ballerina without the adjustments, and this is with the adjustments. And you can see with some very easy steps, just 2 different adjustments and 1 pixel layer that it has average blur on it, we brought these 2 together, so it's kind of believable that she is there in this situation actually dancing on that mushroom, because the light and also the contrast has been adapted so they fit together better. Of course, like I pointed out in the beginning, with the light situation, that doesn't match up 100%. Of course, by the way, like I'm seeing this right now, you can see here the light is coming from the top right side because the shadow is falling here to the lower left side. So we can actually take her and just flip it horizontally. So now the light is on the other side of her, and this mixes up a little bit better. Maybe rotate her a little bit. So suddenly it looks like she's not standing completely straight. Let's go like this. And I would say that looks pretty good, that she's actually there on the mushroom. Easy technique that you can use. Try different pictures, experiment with it, train your senses, because experience is much more important than just knowing what to do. You need to feel how to use it. That's part also of the artistic journey. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and see you in the next tutorial. Thank you very much. Bye.